What's up YouTube? My name's Quickie, welcome back to the channel. Today is Sunday. I just filled up with fuel and I'm off to go and pick up Stevo because today we's on a road trip. Come on, get going faster. There we go. Trying to get out onto the A38 could be a nightmare. Yeah, today we is out on a road trip. I've just left Plymouth. It is what, 9 o'clock in the morning. I did want to be away a bit earlier than this, but Jake being Jake didn't want to get out of his pit, so I'm a little bit late. But I've probably got an hour and a half to go and get Stevo, and then it's all the way up to Norfolk. I think the whole trip is like a 6-hour thing. Googling it, that's what it reckons anyway. So that's what we're doing. Let's go and get Stevo. Right, we're a little bit into it now. I picked up Stevo, picked him up from his gaff. We came out of his gaff onto the M5, got about 2 miles, and we're now stuck in the traffic jam.
Heading towards Western Super Mud.
And it says on the sat nav thing, it's going to add 12 minutes to your journey. Well, considering we've probably got the best part of 5 hours yet to go, that's no biggie. There's always flaming caravans, isn't it?
Yeah, bloody shed draggers. Look, the toilet is literally next to the bed.
You take a poo in it and then sleep next to it.
Yeah.
It's not a nice way to spend a weekend, is it? So anyway, keeping, come on, we haven't seen you in a while.
I'm not too bad, mate.
Yeah?
Not too bad.
Getting on. Oh, are you going to start your own channel? I'm not putting you on the spot here or anything.
Well, you kind of are.
Well, no, but see, the thought strikes is that you've got Jixit's engine.
Well, I have jigged it in pieces.
Well, yeah, but whilst it's in pieces, see, if you was to set up your own, I'd link to you. I'd do all that stuff, and you could like work on the engine and pretty it all up because that was going to be you anyway, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, but it was just gonna. It'd just be me looking at it and swearing at it and going. It's like I said to you, mate. It depends. I don't want to start something at the moment
because you might have to be moving and stuff as well.
Potentially, I'm going to be moving.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Because I know what will happen is, yeah, we'll get it stripped down, which you know is the easy bit, and then it would be in a quadrillion pieces, and it's like, oh. Damn.
Now you got to pack it all up and move.
Yeah.
That would be a good idea, though. I reckon.
It's an idea. Once you
just take your time, take as long as you want doing it, and get it how you want it. Pretty all the cases and all that stuff up. It could be good. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I say at the moment I'm just sort of reluctant. It's not that I haven't got the garage space or the room or the tools.
Yeah.
It's more a case of, because I know what will happen if I start it. Yeah, it'll be right.
Stopped again.
We need to move. So until I know what's happening with that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we're not that far off finishing the ZZR now.
No, that's come on really well. I'm looking forward to getting back down and having a look.
Well, it's got. I'm doing the brakes and stuff at the minute. There is a video that I'm sort of halfway through, so you'll see that in a bit. But it is looking really good. I'm hoping 3 weeks, as long as I don't find anything nasty. But I'm hoping 3 weeks and we should be MOT and dyno ready.
Okay.
Get the MOT done.
So what mechanical stuff have you got left to do, or is that basically all done now?
It's pretty much...
With the exception of a carb tune or something.
Well, I've got... they're basically balanced and whatnot. Jamie was down yesterday and was poking about just seeing how I was getting on and whatnot. Yeah. But it is lean. We think we're probably going to need to go up on the pilot jets and the main jets.
Okay.
Just because when you come off the throttle, when you crack the throttle, it kind of stutters getting up to like 3,000 revs. So it's not getting enough fuel on the pilot side of stuff, I don't think. And then when you come, if you give it the beans and then shut the throttle down, it's popping and all sorts of stuff like that. So again, it's, yeah, it sounds like fuel, plus it's got that system on it, so it is going to be running lean. So that will need sorting, but as far as other stuff that needs doing, there's I'm part way through doing the brakes at the minute. I've got to bleed the clutch. I've got to go through the wiring and make sure all that's good.
Whose idea was it to travel on a bank holiday weekend, just so that the viewers are aware?
Well, it's the only free time I've got. So we're doing it tough. But yeah, so I've got to bleed the clutch, bleed the brakes up. I've got to go through and check the wiring. It's a few bolts and stuff like that needs replacing. Probably going to get another starter solenoid just because this one kind of clicks occasionally.
Right.
But it doesn't throw, so that might be sticky like that other relay. And then realistically, it's just clean the bejesus out of it, sort out all the bodywork and get that ready for Jack to paint. He can paint it, I can fit it, and it's there. I mean, the tank's all getting cleaned. There really isn't that much left to do. It's just bits and bobs and stuff. That's a very big truck. So yeah, it's good. It does sound mint though. It does sound mint.
Yeah, you said it sounds quite raughty.
It's like when you rev it, I mean, I've not revved it past like 6 or 7k, you know, once it's all warmed up and stuff. But the full exhaust system, I mean, it does make your ears pop. It's going to sound good on full noise, I'll tell you that much.
It can't possibly be any louder than that exhaust that we took off Asbo when you got Asbo. Do you remember that one?
I still haven't named it yet. Asbo sort of earned his name, didn't he?
Yeah.
I still haven't got a name for the ZZR yet. Right, we just pulled off and got a brew. Starbucks saves the day. It's all good.
We are now sustained until Norwich, I guess.
Well, we're not making bad time actually.
No, to be fair, we're not.
All things considered, but we haven't even said where we're going. Well, we said where we're going, not why we're going there. So
have we not said that?
Right. Probably need to.
Have I not? Did I not blow that cover earlier on by accident?
Quite surprised at that one. So anyway, there's a fella who got in touch with me. He watches the channel. He quite often chips in and stuff. And he chipped in on Facebook. He dropped me a message, and he goes, "I might have a future project for you." Oh yeah, go on. Basically, he's got a 1999, I think it is, Suzuki GSX-R 600 S-Rad. So if you remember them, these are the ones with like the really big rear end to it.
And big old hump on the back in it.
Ram air and all that stuff on it. It's a liquid cooled engine. And basically, he bought it a while back. I think it was involved, or it was near a fire or something.
You hadn't told me that.
No, it was near a fire. Apparently the only damage is the air intake has melted a bit.
Okay.
I don't know.
We don't need that anyway.
He did send me some pictures. Anyway, Taz bought this thing, and he was going to use it to do a hard up chopper, which, I mean, something that's capable of 150 miles an hour in something with no suspension apart from how much air you put in the tyre.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting, isn't it?
It could be really interesting.
I mean, we'll have a chat with him when we get there. We're about an hour and a half away now, I think. But anyway, he started looking into it because it's like a stressed membered engine and stuff as well as a few other bits and pieces. Basically, it just wasn't going to work. So apparently it's been sitting in his backyard under a tarpaulin for God knows how long. I've got no idea what sort of state it's in. But that's it, it's just sat there and it's doing nothing, and he's not going to do anything with it.
It can't,
and he reckons
to be fair, yeah, it can't possibly be worse than my
You're going to come on about GS, aren't you? There's nothing worse than that.
It can't be any worse than that. my shouldn't have gone on eBay after drinking red wine. Sunday evening purchase.
As far as I know, it's got it doesn't have a seat subframe to it. He can't find that.
Right.
All the plastics and stuff is there. Part of the air intake is melted, but that can obviously be replaced.
Yeah.
It's not the sort of thing that you'd cafe race, and I'm not even going to start it until Asbo's finished. So I've got to get the ZZR done, which we're pretty close to.
Yeah.
Then I want to get back onto Asbo and get him finished up, track ready, so we can go and give that a spanking.
Yeah.
And then Asbo is going to, once I'm happy it's all set and it works right and it's safe and blah 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 blah, then I'll finish off making all the road going bits and make it pretty and get it painted and everything else. And at that point, then I'm going to have a go at this S-Rad, and we do have some plans for it because I've been speaking with JB. This is one of those sports bikes that were back, it's like my era basically. When I was racing, loads of fellas on track had S-Rad 600s, and they were not slow.
No.
They were not slow. And we was on like R6s and stuff at the time. And, you know, I mean, they're quite rapid.
It's a revvy engine as well.
I think, if memory serves, it's something like 110 horsepower, 152 top speed, something like that. I mean, they're not slow. But I was having a chat with Jamie and trying to work out some plans as to what we're going to do with it and all this sort of stuff. And there is an awful lot that is possible. Right, the time is now, what, 8:30?
20 past 8.
20 past 8. We're just on our way back. We just left Taz having loaded up the bike. What a nice bloke. We spent, how long there? A couple of hours?
Probably a good couple of hours.
Really, really, really nice guy. He's dead sociable and stuff. He cooked us chilli, which was lovely.
Has many toys in his garage.
He has many toys in his garage. I seriously reckon he should do a channel. I'd watch it.
Yeah, I think so. I would watch it.
Because he proper loves his Harleys and he loves his bobbers and choppers and all that sort of stuff. And he's got quite a few bikes on the go that he's like tinkering with and, you know, getting how he wants it and all that sort of stuff. And from what we've seen, he's not doing a bad job, is he? Not at all. He's got some cool ideas.
He's definitely got some skills, hasn't he?
Yeah, big time. I'd watch it. So if you're watching, Taz, firstly, thank you ever so much for the hospitality. That was really nice.
Thank you very much.
The chili was mega, and just like the time you gave us, shooting the breeze, talking rubbish, and all that stuff. That was awesome. And obviously for the bike, we've been chatting about what's going to happen to it and what the plans are. We're going to lay all those plans out in a later video, or when I get back to the shop and unload the bike. I'll give you a proper look round and stuff, and tell you some of the ideas that's going through my head. But that's going to be a weapon. That's going to be mint. That is really, really going to be cool. So we're now on our way back to Royston, which is where Stevo's folks live. And we're going to overnight there and then carry on back to Bridgewater for him and Plymouth for me.
Yep.
Sam has just landed, having come back for her holidays, so she should basically be home by now, I think. So I'll get to see her tomorrow and show her the other toys that I've got in the shed.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, we'll be back. Right, today's Tuesday, so we're back in the shop again. It was a really good weekend, but let me give you a bit of a closer look as to what we got. Ooh. All right then, you can't really see much there, can you? Right, so this is the beastie. The poo bags have got like various nuts and bolts and fixings and various other bits and pieces in. Ignore that. But this is it. So it's a 1999 GSX-R 600 SRAD. SRAD being Suzuki Ram Air Direct or something. I think I'm right in saying that. But it's not a runner. He's never had it running. Basically, Taz got it for a project. I think he was going to put like a 600 engine in a chopper frame or something, and then plans changed, or I don't know what, but basically this is a stress member engine, so obviously that's all not going to work in a chopper frame, and he's just had it knocking about doing nothing basically. Choppers is definitely his sort of thing, not sports bikes, so it was kind of, it was just sitting there doing nothing. I think he got it for like 200 quid or something stupid. I mean, it was like nothing, but everything is here. I mean, it's all, if you have like a bit of a close look, I mean, it is covered in layers of filth and grot and grime and everything else, but everything is here. You know, there's no discoloration or anything on the bottom of the radiators and that. It doesn't look like it's leaking. A couple of bent fins. None of the wires have been chewed through, which is quite surprising, because when you went to shove it into the out front so we could get it, down here, a mouse had decided to build a nest. Yeah, we've got all the ECU and all that other stuff. He's all down there, airbox is all complete. I do have fairings and like an under tray over here. Hasn't got a subframe for the seat. I don't believe I saw a seat fairing there, I don't know. But anyway, the reason why I got it so cheap is basically this had been near a fire, or it was involved in a fire or something. Everything is fine apart from the air intakes here. They got a bit warm and melted. That's it, that's all there was. The clocks is also just like a little bit discoloured. You can see it's just like, you know, it's just goo and crap and nasty and everything else. Bit of pitting on the forks, I'm sure we can sort something out there. But like all the plastics is fine. They're all going to get swapped out obviously for race fairings. I think it's the stock exhaust looking at it. So, you know, that's probably going to get changed at some point. But I'm pretty clear on what I want to do with this. It's really old crash bungs lit. Let's have a look at the other side. So there's the tank down there. I don't know if you can see because of the shadow. Got the seat, got various bits and bobs. I do have one of the air intakes, which actually looks fine. It's just the other one that's a bit ropey. All the fairings is underneath the quilt. This is the wrong side to be looking at it because of the light, isn't it? But again, it's, you know, all this lot. This is obviously from where it was close to a fire or whatever, and I think it's this one that got trashed. But this all just rubs off and stuff. You know, the connectors is all okay. That's the only one that got warm, and it looks like it's only the outer boot that got it. There's been a few modifications that don't really go anywhere, but that got spliced in anyway. I'm guessing that's just like a relay jobby for the indicators, because LEDs have gone it at some point. But everything's here. It's just covered in loads and loads and loads of crud and goo and muck and, you know, just whatever. But, you know, this, to me, has got a hell of a lot of potential. And I do have some very definite ideas for it as well. It was nice catching up with Steve again as well. Haven't seen him in a while, but we had like essentially 2 days in the van, just like shooting the breeze and talking rubbish and catching up on stuff. So that was good. I did drop him off, and unfortunately he locked himself out of his house. Well, he didn't. He had the key, he unlocked it, and then went to use the handle, and the handle just spun. So the lock's broke. So we had to open his side door with a trolley jack. It opens a lot quicker than, you know, doing it that way than using a key. Anyway, so I've been chatting with Jamie, and I've been thinking about what we could do with this and what I would like to do with it, and, you know, how I can use it to help out the channel and all that other stuff. And we've got some very, very, very definite ideas. Well, first up, it's not going to be a road bike. It's not going to be a road bike at all. Asbo was my test bed bike. And that's what we was trying stuff out on and seeing this stuff would fit and blah, 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 blah. But the Gixxers, when I was racing, they were like properly quick, like hugely quick. Very, very, very capable little machine. I think it makes like 110 horsepower or something, or it did. And it's something that's actually quite lightweight. You know you're sitting on it basically. So I think what we're going to do is, first up, is I ain't going to touch it until Asbo is finished. So it's not like I'm getting loads of projects on the go or anything else, but I've got it here now, so I can look at it and measure stuff and, you know, have a grub about occasionally and just see what's needed and what could go and what's not, you know, all that other sort of thing, and come up with an idea for it. I've been chatting with Jamie. We're going to go to town on the engine a little bit, so it's probably going to get a full system on it. He's on about doing a port and polish job, maybe raising the compression on it, all that sort of stuff. And he reckons without too much fuss, as in not a lot of money, but, you know, fair bit of work, we could have all the cases apart, complete rebuild from everything. So all the cases will get painted and made to look nice and blah, 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 blah. And he reckons we could be banging on the door of like 125 horsepower. 125 to 130 he reckons at the wheel. If we go to 130, then that's a grenade tune. It ain't gonna last very long. So I'm leaning more towards the 125. But once it's done, that's a proper track day tool. So the idea is that we'd be able to go out and have a bit of fun on tracks with it. But then I can also do things like swap out suspension and see what works and get it set how I want it and get all the geometry right and, you know, blah-de-blah-de-blah. And I end up with a sports bike that is very capable on track. Once I've got that, I've got a frame jig. So what we might be doing is, for the next project after obviously Asbo is done and dusted or whatever, we'll set the frame jig up to mimic the geometry in the frame on the track bike, because I know that'll be a really good handling package and whatnot, and I'll know what suspension to stick on it, and, you know, the rake and trail and the, you know, the wheelbase and the ride height and all that other sort of stuff. And I could make a frame that mimics it, that I can then turn into a bit of an Asbo, but something that goes a little bit better. I've also got I've got a headstock down there off a Bandit, which is basically the idea of a bike. So what we might end up doing is using that headstock on a new frame set up to mimic the Gixxer, and I could stick pretty much anything I want in it, really. So, you know, we could go 750, we could go 1200, we could, you know, whatever. But we could have a proper laugh. But then, you know, once I've got all the geometry set and I know what the next project's going to be, we just stick it all back together again and we've got a track day bike. If we get onto Gixxit after the track day bike, then, you know, he's going to be going around a racetrack. It just means I'll have another bike to follow him round on. So I don't really want to put this one around a racetrack. This is like a mile muncher, daily commute, kind of got to be reliable, don't really want to bin it. Whereas, you know, that is going to be a lot more sporty, a lot more capable. So, you know, we could get some really cool onboard footage and that. Yeah, I mean, there's loads of stuff we could do. Jamie was talking about turbo in it, but we're not doing that because it costs a fortune. But it just means that we've got a really cool machine that we could kind of muck about with and put to good use on the channel. So that's what we're going to be doing. It is a long way off. It's not going to happen till next year, like I say, because Asbo needs to get finished. I want this done and off the bench so I can use it, so Asbo can go straight back on, and we're cracking on with him. Because I want to get him done and dusted, and I'm probably going to change a couple of little bits because I've been thinking about it. But that's the main focus. I want to get back on Asbo and get him finished. But there you go. So we've got another future project for the channel, which is kind of cool. I can see my way through next year now, which is sweet. So, you know, it's all lining up, but just one at a time, and we will get through it. But there you go. Thank you ever so much again, Taz. Really nice to meet you, matey. Really nice. It was just cool shooting the breeze with the fella. He's a top bloke. But thank you ever so much for watching. Do hope you're well and staying safe. We'll see you on the next one. Laters.